You need to protect your skin during summer. You've done all this work to get this glowing skin, but summer can ruin it all with its damaging UV rays. I'm going to run through 4 different tips to protect your beautiful skin and but may also improve it. And hint, stay for the last one because I feel a lot of skincare YouTubers don't really talk about it. And we're going to go into tip 1. And you guys probably already all know this, sunscreen. Now, there's 2 different types of sunscreen. There's mineral and there's chemical. In my experience, mineral I find is the best because when I wear chemical sunscreen, I have very sensitive skin. It really dries out my skin and causes me to break out. So what eventually started happening is that when I first got into skincare, I started wearing a lot of chemical sunscreen because I thought that's what you do. I didn't even know there was a difference. But it was like it used to hurt and I would get like acne after and I was like this is kind of not really what I want and I didn't know skincare could hurt. So I kind of stopped using it until I, obviously learned about there's different types of sunscreen. So definitely use mineral. Now I will say mineral is definitely heavier than chemical. Like it feels weightier on your face, because the way mineral works is it kind of sits on top of your face versus chemical goes inside your skin, which sounds kind of weird, but that's kind of how it works. But if you use mineral also, like you need an oil-based cleanser to get it off. Like you need an oil-based cleanser and a regular cleanser. You can't just use one or the both because it's going to be stuck on your skin kind of because it's just sitting on there. So you usually put the mineral sunscreen on and then the oil-based cleanser to get it off and then the regular cleanser to get off the oil-based cleanser. But in any case, highly suggest mineral sunscreen, especially SPF 50 if you can. I use Australian Gold. You can't go wrong with it. Tip number 2, UPF clothing, but this can also extend to UPF wide brim hats or a UPF umbrella. Personally, I use a lot of UPF hats. I have 2 of them. I brought one with me because I keep the other one in the car all the time. Just grab this. And this is what I mean by a wide brim hat. I don't know if you can tell in frame, but this is like a half of a Subway sandwich, 6 inches, bro. Like it's all wide. It's like a radius, So when you put it on, you're covered from all sides, basically. Sorry, I had this hat fold. That's why it doesn't look like as wide as it could be. But if you're out in the sun doing whatever, and the sun's rays are beaming at you, like this is going to protect you pretty nicely, like from the UV rays. Make sure it's UPF rated. There's a lot of sun hats out there that are not actually UPF rated. Some of those woven hats might say UPF rated, but I'm not really sure if they're actually UPF rated because they look good, but make sure it gives you a strong UPF rating. And if you have these hats, be careful about washing them through the machine wash because that will ruin the UPF rating. There's different ways to wash it. You can just look it up to make it nice and well. Sometimes I just kind of buy a new one because they're not too expensive every like year or so to make sure it's good. It's definitely not that bad. Tip number 3, just don't go out during peak hours. I know it's summer, and you have to go out, just sit in the shade. Peak hours are usually 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and you can usually tell if it's really high UV in the summer because if you look at your shadow if you're standing in the sun, if it's short, well-defined, very crisp edges of the shadow, that means it's very high UV. The sun's right on top of you. However, if your shadow's really long and a little blurry, not really well-defined, that means it's lower UV. Oh, let me take this hat off, actually. I didn't even notice. Tip number 4. I feel a lot of skincare YouTubers don't even talk about this. A lot of beauty YouTubers don't talk about this. A few do, but I feel like it should be known more. It's tinting your car. Now imagine if you can put sunscreen on your car and have it on permanently, and that's what tinting your car does. Now make sure your tint, whatever tint you got, is actually like blocks in the UV rays. There's so many different tints that block a certain amount of UV rays, certain amount of infrared light. Infrared light is just heat. However, just make sure whatever you get, if you go to the tint shop, make sure it actually blocks UV rays. Because I guarantee you're going to be on a car trip. It's going to be an hour long, 2 hours long, going to the beach or something in the morning or like midday just traveling. And you forgot your sunscreen or you just don't want to put it on. So you have this extra barrier essentially. As long as your windows are up and you have your car tinted, you're good to go. And make sure you tint everything. Like on my car, I tint everything. Like the front window, the side windows, and the back window. And it does get expensive depending on your car. If you have a newer car, like newer make model, it's definitely more expensive than like an older car. For example, I had a 2007 car, it's a truck, and to get it tinted, it was only like $250. But I guarantee you, if that was like a 2006, 2005 truck, brand new, that would have cost a lot of money because truck windows are just big. But I will say, if you tint your car, you do save a lot on sunscreen. So honestly, it's a pretty good trade off. I've saved so much money on sunscreen because I just made this initial investment to the tint. Um, if you want to know more about tinting and more about underestimated skincare tips that involve your car and more about the tinting process, to be honest, about tinting your car for skincare, I have this video right here. And as always, thank you for joining, and I'm proud of you.